In the lands of Lothric, the bell tolls, confirming that the flames of the Age of Fire is dying. To prolong the Age of Fire and revive the flame, previous lords of the land and the undead beings arise. As per the prophecy, the lords which are responsible for protecting the fire will abandon their duties, and a man known as the Unkindled will rise and revive the fire after gathering the 5 lords of Cinder in the Fireling Shrine. The prophecy proves itself, and a man belonging to the type of Unkindled somewhere arises from his grave to live his fate. Unkindled are those who died trying to link the flames. The gods would shepherd the undead humans to their deaths in order to link the flame, as the gods do not produce heirs often enough to keep the fire going all the time. Humans lose their humanity when they lose their drive to complete their goals in the process of dying and coming back. Unkindled, however, do not hollow, as their humanity was replaced by the flame, which is why they must protect the ember, as the flame is now their humanity. The story of the Unkindled one begins, and he makes his way towards Emma the priest off Lothric Castle. She guides the Unkindled one to the high wall and asks him to raise the banner there in order to proceed. As the Unkindled one reaches the high wall, he is faced with the watchdog of the high wall's gate. Once he defeats the watchdog, the gates are opened and he makes his way forward, where a group of flying creatures lift him in the sky and takes him across the valley. On the bridge, the Unkindled one comes across a group of fallen pilgrims, but one of them seems to have survived, and he promises to assist the Unkindled in his journey before he disappears. He continues his journey and comes across a giant wood monster. After defeating it, the Unkindled one meets Henri and Horus, 2 unkindled soldiers like him. They inform him that they are heading towards the Cathedral of Asdrich and look forward to meeting the Unkindled again. After that, he reaches the Cathedral of Deep, where he fights the Deacons of Deep. The Deacons of the Deep are a group of clerics that wield candlesticks in combat. Some wield their weapon similar to that of a sword, while others use it as a catalyst for pyromancy. This congregation of clerics defends a roaming soul, that is eventually revealed to be the Archdeacon after being brought down to a certain health threshold. After defeating them and obtaining the small doll, which serves as a key item to traverse through the magic barrier sealing off the entry to Irithyll of the Boreal Valley, the Unkindled one makes his way towards the Farron Keep, and after igniting the fire in the keep's pillars, he enters the giant stone gate, and there he goes against the Abyss Watchers in a fight. Tall humanoids clad in leather armor, wielding a greatsword in their right hand and a dagger in their left hand, the Abyss Watchers' soul passes from one body to the next, forever warring, and it is one of the Lords of Cinder. After defeating him, the Unkindled one comes across Henri, and she informs him that her companion Horus has been missing and asks the Unkindled to look for him. As he makes his way through the area of catacombs and reaches the Lake of Smoldering, the Unkindled faces Horus in a hostile behavior, and is forced to kill him. As he returns to Henri, he informs her of Horus's location but does not reveal that he is killed by the Unkindled. In return, Henri rewards the Unkindled with the Ring of Evil. After which, the Unkindled continues his journey in the lands of Cathris and triggers a goblet in the altar in the underground cemetery of Cathris. The goblet exhales dark energy, and the Unkindled is faced with Lord Woolner, one of the bosses of the game. After defeating it, the dark energy is again consumed by the goblet and the door above the stairs is opened. The Unkindled makes his way to the Church of Yorshka, where he fights Pontiff Sullivan, a tall humanoid dressed in bejeweled sorcerer's robes. He wields 2 great swords in combat, the great sword in his left hand emanating a purple aura and the great sword in his right hand enshrouded in flames. After being brought down to a certain health threshold, branch-like wings sprout from his back. After defeating it, the Unkindled meets with Uria, a member of the Dark Wraiths, with the primary goal of bringing about the Age of Dark. She informs the Unkindled that he must perform the rite of avowal in the chambers of Anal Lunord to become the true Lord of Lunord. As he reaches the chambers, the Pilgrim of Lothric meets him and tells the Unkindled to use the sword on his spouse to complete the ritual. He heads over to the center of the chamber, where a woman is laying down on the ground with a sword next to her. The Unkindled takes the sword and inserts it in the woman. As he heads out of the chamber, he sees the pilgrim laying on the ground and retrieves the chameleon from his body. Later in the Church of Lunord, the Unkindled engages in a fight with Lord Aldrich, one of the Cinder Lords. After defeating him, the Unkindled meets Uria once again and she announces him as the new Lord of Lunder. The Unkindled then makes his way towards the next Lord of Cinder, at the Temple of Profaned Capital. There he engages Yhorm the Giant. In the past, he was a skilled giant combatant, powerful enough to become a Lord of a city and a Lord of Cinder. During combat, he attacks Unkindled with a massive machete that glows like embers. After defeating it, the Unkindled one is called by Emma and he is teleported into the Cathedral of Lothric. There the Unkindled one kills her as she asks him to save the price of Lothric, and retrieves the basin of vows from her body. Before he could head out of the cathedral, he is attacked by the Dancer of Boreal Valley. The Dancer is a tall armored knight with a spectral cape. After defeating it, the Unkindled places the basin of vows under a statue in the cathedral and a ladder drops down. As he makes his way out of the cathedral, he is faced with the Dragonslayer, another boss. He manages to defeat it successfully and enters the Lothric castle. He meets Prince Lothric in the castle, the fourth Cinder Lord, which unleashes his elder brother Lorien to fight the Unkindled. After depleting Lorien's health bar once, Lothric teleports to his brother's side and clings to his back for the remainder of the fight. The Unkindled One defeats them and heads towards the Consumed King's gardens. There he fights the Oshiros, the Consumed King. After defeating it, the Unkindled continues his journey and comes across the Nameless King after ringing the large bell by the Great Belfry at Archdragon Peak. The Nameless King is an armored humanoid riding atop a blue wyvern and attacks players with his spear. During the first phase of the boss fight, his name is shown as King of the Storm, until the wyvern he is riding is killed. This begins the second phase where his name changes to Nameless King. The battle takes place once thick fog has surrounded the contestants. Once the Unkindled One has defeated the lords and demons of the lands of Lothric, he makes his way towards the Firelink Shrine. There the Firekeeper informs him that he has successfully put the 5 Lords of Cinder back on their thrones and the Unkindled One is ready to revive the Lord's Ember and relink the fire. The 5 Lords also include Ludleth of Kurland, the only Lord of Cinder which did not fight the Unkindled One, but he dies once the bonfire is lit. As the Unkindled lits the bonfire, the 5 Lords of Cinder give up their flames to the Firekeeper, which bestows it upon the Unkindled One. Afterwards, the Unkindled is teleported to the kiln of the first flame. As he makes his way forward and transfers through the fog, he is faced with the Soul of Cinder. The Soul of Cinder is seen as the amalgamation of all the Lords of Cinder, with a variety of dark dialectic spells. It appears to the Unkindled as a heavily armored knight and wields the Firelink Greatsword in battle, a greatsword that can change into one of 3 other forms during the first phase of the fight. After depleting its health once, the second phase starts, where the Soul of Cinder regains all his health. After defeating him successfully, the Unkindled receive the Soul of Lords from its dead body, and finally links the first flame. Once the Soul of Cinder is defeated, 4 endings are made possible based on the player's actions during the game. The Unkindled can attempt to link the fire, summon the Firekeeper to extinguish the flame and begin an Age of Dark, or kill her. A 4th ending consists of the Unkindled One taking the flame for his own self and becoming the Lord of Hollows. Thanks for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe for more epic videos. We will see you at the next one.